Hi everyone! Sometimes you may find yourself needing to cite an article that was only published on a database, meaning that the article was not first published in a journal or a magazine before it was searchable in the database. Articles found in databases like Mergent Intellect, Issues and Controversies, and Today's Science will all be published exclusively for that database. Some articles in the Opposing Viewpoints database may also be specifically published for that database, but not all of the articles. The format for the MLA citation for an article published directly in a database is the author's name in last name, first name order, followed by a period. Then you have the title of the article in quotation marks, followed by a period. You have the name of the database in italics, followed by a comma, the publisher of the database, followed by a comma, and the publication date, followed by a period. Let's look at an example. Here is an article from the database Issues and Controversies about child beauty pageants. The article that I'm citing here is the main article when I click on this topic in Issues and Controversies. These articles that you see published here are published specifically for this database. They aren't previously published in another magazine or journal first. Now, I'm noticing that this article doesn't have an author, which is pretty common for articles published specifically for databases. So I'm actually going to skip the author's name and start with the article title in quotation marks, which is Child Beauty Pageants. Are child beauty pageants beneficial for children? Something you may have noticed here is that I'm making sure that I capitalize the first letters of the main words of my title. This is because in MLA format, you need to use title casing, which means that you capitalize the main words in the title. Now, because the title ends with a question mark, I'm actually going to keep that in place of my period. So next up is going to be the title of the database in italics. And the title of this database is Issues and Controversies. I will follow that with a comma. Next is going to be the name of the publisher. And the name of the publisher is actually going to be Infobase, which I see right here at the top of my screen. And I'll follow up with a comma here. Finally, we need the publication date. And the publication date for this article is going to be that last updated date we see here at the top, January 11th, 2010. MLA format has you put dates in day, month, year format, and the name of the month should be abbreviated to the first three letters, with the exception of May, June, and July. So this date should read 11 Jan with a period 2010, and close out with a period at the end. I also want to make sure that I double space and include a hanging indent for that second line of my citation. Let's look at another article. Here is one from Today's Science. This time we do have an author's name listed, so I will start with the author's name in last name, first name order. So I will have Becker, Catherine Nisbet, followed by a period at the end. Next, I'm going to include the title of the article in quotation marks. And the title of this article is Saturn, What Lies Beneath? I will close out with a period at the end and then finish my quotation marks. Next, I'm going to include the name of the database in italics. The name of this database is Today's Science. Followed by a comma. Next, we need the publisher of the database, and the publisher of the database can be found at the very top of my page, and that's going to be Infobase. Followed by a comma. And then finally, we are going to need the publication date for this source, and the publication date for this article was July 2021. Since July is a shorter named month, we don't have to abbreviate the name, and we'll close out with a period. Since this citation is only one line long, we don't have to worry about including a hanging indent. And there you have it. This is the MLA citation for an article that's published specifically for a database. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to ask a librarian.